Hi, my name's Trish. Today we're going to use the predictions deck again to have a look. Now I'm very excited. The new prediction cards are getting very close. Lots of orders will be going out soon. I believe I should have them within 7 days. And then that's when all the shippings will take place, and I'll send out everybody's tracking information. So I'm looking forward to getting a nice, because at the moment I've just got the plain deck. These ones are coming in with the gold lining, so they're going to be beautiful. So I'm looking forward to the new ones. Now what I want to read on today is just want to look at this current situation. Now I don't know if this is going to lead into the election, but I want to look at the state of the world at the moment, because there's so much craziness going on around the world. It's like a leader was killed. We've had 12 children died in an Israeli attack on Israel, and there's retaliation for that. So there's retaliation for the leader, Hamas, and then there's also all the chaos going on in the UK with the more children being murdered. It's a really bad state that the world's in at the moment. Now I'm going to start reading the Weird Wednesday readings that I used to do, because I used to do a lot on the Bible predictions with the Weird Wednesday readings, and I feel like there's a lot of energy around that kind of tribulation. A tribulation is a state of suffering, when the world's in a state of suffering, and I do believe that we are in that state at the moment. So that's why I'm going to start bringing those readings back. So they're just a light kind of reading. Now so what I'm looking at now is the world. So we've got housing issues here, just sitting on the table. Housing issues, that's in Australia. We have housing shortages and housing issues. There's damage done, so we're looking at the aftermath from damage done here. I'm not tapped in yet, but this is just what's coming out as I'm talking. So retaliation is a form of aftermath from damage done is retaliation, and I feel like there's a lot of that going on as well. Readings that I done a few weeks ago, it wasn't the August predictions because they were pretty boring, but one of the other readings that I'd done, it might have been one of the political readings, it came up with a bunch of things on military action, military planes, it could have been warship. There was a bunch of military ones that came out in one of those readings, but I had a little look back through and I couldn't find which one it was. So it might have been like the US election one reading. It could have been in there somewhere. But anyway, I wanted to just do a little bit of reading on what's going on in the world right now. I also looked at what's happening with China. So we've got tension in the Middle East escalating. We have not to mention the assassination attempt as well. So we've got tension in the US. We have got tension in UK at the moment, which is out of control. And then we also have things going on with China, because they're in the month of August they've sent out 155 warships so far to the Strait and to Taiwan. So they've also got warplanes out there as well. So there is tension all over the world right now. So let's just have a look, pull some cards here. So we're looking at the state of the world with the tension and what's happening there. Let's start with the UK. I'm going with six cards. I was going with 8, but I did say 6 to myself, and now it's not letting me pull any other cards, so I'll move them over. Okay, we're talking the tension in the UK at the moment. So now the first thing I thought of when I saw those top 3 cards is crisis solution, so outcome. Okay, so there's a saying, I can't quite remember the 3 words, but it's somehow related to when you want a certain outcome, you need to create the problem so then you can create the solution. So I can't remember exactly what that statement is, but this is what I was thinking when I was laying these cards. So you want a certain outcome, being a super city, a smart city, a surveillance city. Now I know UK had some issues with this sometime during the lockdowns, mandates, coercion period, and they had bollards everywhere. And then I think, I'm not quite sure which city that was or that happened, but you believe you pulled the bollards out, and there was some kind of I'm just going back from memory now, there was some kind of city in the UK that was like a tester for a smart city or a surveillance city. Now, laying these cards here, now I'm not saying that the death of those babies, those children, was done on purpose. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying sometimes certain people take opportunities to push an agenda. So here what I'm seeing with those top cards, and I'm going to read them to see if there's any other way that I can read them, but what I got when I first laid them was a desired outcome. You create the problem so you can bring in the solution. So a planned outcome solution would be that we need more security, we need more safety, so therefore we need to create super cities or smart cities or surveillance cities. That's what I got when I was reading those cards. Okay, so down the bottom it's saying and that mandatory coercion, I know the coercion is spelt wrong, it's been corrected in the new deck, so that reminded me of when we were in the COVID lockdowns, or the COVID times, and there was some kind of trialing of some kind of smart city in the UK. So why it's bringing me back to this now, when I'm asking about all that tension and stuff that's going on in the UK, you're bringing me back to that. You're bringing me back to coercion, mandatory, and super cities and smart cities, surveillance cities, and finding solutions to problems being a planned outcome. Corrupt dealing, so some things are corrupt and some things are just a distraction and an illusion. So I know that you're living it, and I know that, and without being there to know that it's real, sometimes you've got to be careful of what we see on mainstream media, even social media, because sometimes it is just an illusion or a distraction. It's pretty easy to do, and with the deep fake videos that they have now, it's very, very, very easy to create an illusion with even videos now. But I just find it really interesting that they're pulling me back to that scenario, and I'm trying to find another way to read those cards, but I just keep coming back to what is the outcome. We need to create that problem so we can offer that solution to get the outcome, the planned outcome. Corrupt dealings here, it's an illusion or a distraction. Okay. Let's move on. Let's have a look at tension with the Middle East. Middle East. Now this is very interesting. When I first laid that weaponized space, I thought, okay, it's not space, it's not weaponized space, it's got to be something about weapons here that's important. But then space colony comes out. I have 2 or 3 space cards in this deck, and they're both out on the table, which, okay, could it be related to space? This is really interesting. Now I'm not all around that, I'm not up on what's going on, but I feel like there may be something playing out in the background here as well. Weapons, weaponizing a group, weaponizing the situation, maybe weaponizing on both sides, but weaponizing the situation to allow it to grow or escalate. A rescue or revived. Okay, a rescue. Now I feel there is still hostages, I think, still there. Maybe there's something coming up around rescuing hostages and playing the next card. So, okay, playing the next card again makes me feel like there is a narrative here. I'm going to pull a couple more cards. I mean, obviously there's battle and warships and weapons, because you would not, you just expect that to be here. Heavy burdens, it's getting very heavy. I'm just going to lay a card on the space cards, because I don't understand. Space could just be land grab, That's what it could be. It could be because I don't have any land cards in this deck, so maybe they're just talking about pushing for space, pushing for land. That's what it could be. And they've got because there's two of those colonies being colonies, like colonizing or where people are. Okay, so let's pull another 2 cards for what's happening with this one. Plane, aviation, and plane wreckage. Wow. I say wow because the plane just fell out of the sky yesterday. I haven't researched that to see what that was, but I think that's what I'm supposed to be reading on today. I think because sometimes the cards will do that to me. It happened to me before when I was using it's happened to me twice actually, using my Weird Wednesday readings, and then the plane card come out and it was like, oh no, what's going to happen? And then there was a plane disaster like within 24 hours. And then here only a couple of weeks ago, I was reading, I didn't put the reading up, I was reading, I thought I'll get the Weird Wednesday cards out again, and it came out again, and I thought, what's going to happen with cards now? They're out on the table again, so I think I'm supposed to read on that plane disaster, plane wreckage that happened. Okay, I'm going to finish this one off, and then I'm going to move on to that one. Okay, so finally I'm just going to ask, is the tension going to ease before the November elections? Is the tension around the world with all the wars and the escalation, is that tension going to ease before the November election? So something or somebody is going to be replaced or exchanged, and it says future. So I don't think that's the current exchange that's already happened. A surprise attack. Now what I'm asking for is, and I don't like to read so many months ahead because I feel like there's too many things that change in a timeline for, that's why I only usually read a month in advance and not a few months. But I've done it this time. I've asked for, will the tension calm down before the November elections? So something around that is going to be replaced or exchanged. There will be more surprise attacks, so I don't think it's going to I don't think that it's going to de-escalate. I think there could be more attacks, more surprise attacks. Now whether we're talking here in the US or we're talking just tension around the world, but there's a surprise attack. Security cameras, again, I think that card came out when I did the Kamala reading, something around security cameras. And then this card came out when I did the Trump reading. So, and I says, oh, that looks like Baron Trump. This card always reminds me of Baron Trump because it's the future. And then there's that novel about the Baron Trump, the time traveler. So this card always reminds me of Baron Trump. But it does indicate a future time. And again, that's why I'm reading. I'm reading far into the future, much farther than I normally read. So I normally only read a month in advance, asking for questions a bit further ahead, and that's what it's saying. It's a bit further into the future than what I normally read. Now it is saying that, again, it's got the crystal ball above that. So this one here is just saying that it is talking about the crystal ball. Now I will also definitely at the end of October, I will be doing another reading for November. I do them each month. I did July's, but I just didn't get it up, so I think I might go and have a look what happened in that one. But again, these two cards are telling me that I need to do that reading closer to the date, closer to November. But tornadoes or wind is showing either tornadoes in the area. That would be the US, because we're talking about the US elections in November. Security cameras, it comes up. I never know what it means in this situation. So let's just pull a card on that one there. But I don't think it's going to de-escalate. I feel like there's going to be more attacks leading up into the US election. Planned outcome. But very interesting that there's going to be a replace or exchange. I actually had a dream 2 nights ago I can't remember the whole dream, and I just don't know if I should make it a separate thing or just run through it very quickly now. I was at a hotel somewhere, and I was trying to get back to my room, and I was dressed in beachwear because I was on a holiday, and then I was running because I was late. I had to get back to the room to get changed, so I was late, and I was running, and I was running through a crowd, and I stopped dead, and there was like a procession or a inauguration or some kind of something like that, and it was somebody sitting on a step, and they had blue in front of him. So him, I said him. It was a man, and the way he looked at me when I stopped, I was about to run across his inauguration or run across his somewhere where I shouldn't have been, and the way he looked at me, and it was a male, and it was blue. I just noticed the blue everywhere. They had blue everywhere, and I just find that strange that we've got that replace or exchange card sitting there as well. Okay, coming back to the security cameras. And I say that because I had that security cameras in the I think I had those 2 cards in the Kamala reading, so that's why I think that's where this is all fitting. The replace exchange, the dream that I had, and these 2 cards that were in the Kamala Harris reading, corrupt dealings and security cameras. Not quite sure what that is, but they've come out again in this reading when I'm asking about the US election and if tension is going to de-escalate before that election. So thank you for joining me. I want to read on the planes next to see what's going on because they've come out in this reading, so I just need to delve into that a little bit deeper. I will see you next time.